Right now we're official. Okay. Oh, I know last week I told you I was going to upload the recording of my evening section since I forgot to record this one, but it turned out I only had a handful of students show up, so we essentially just talked about their papers. When I say a handful, I mean two. All right. So first things first, folks, the final draft of your instructor chosen essay is due Wednesday. I have just made the assignment folder active, and I'm still going to put in the your self-assessment that I want you to do. The one for the final draft is a little bit shorter, but I do before you hit submit, meaning when you get that paper uploaded, first thing, again, like I was saying last week, make sure your final draft is at least 4 pages. All right. And most of us, were able to cross that threshold. But if your paper fell a little bit shorter than 4 pages, make sure the final draft is 4 pages. Don't do anything crazy with the font. Like, don't try to do an enlarged font. Don't try to skip extra spaces. Don't have like 5 spaces between like your title and the first line of your text. Make sure it's a legitimate 4 pages, because again, that's how you put yourself in the best position to pass at the end of the semester. So and my we're on break next week, right? And if you turn in your paper late, that's on you. But my suggestion is to get it in by Wednesday, so it's out of the way by the break. Really, the only thing I have assigned over the break is for you guys to continue reading Born a Crime, and then there's an additional set of reading questions. But I don't try not to drag your paper out into the break. All right. Okay. So yeah. So that's the paper. Again, make sure it's you get your 4 pages done. Make sure you proofread it to the best of your ability. All right. Again, make sure you take the feedback into consideration to the best of your ability. And then I think most importantly, just remember that, we're still works in progress, as writers, right? So, if you're still, if your skills are still developing, as most of ours are, and that's perfectly fine. If your skills are still developing, just keep that in mind about what we need to work on for our next essay, which is the common essay. All right. Another aspect of the common essay, if you have fallen behind in the reading, okay, if you have fallen behind in the reading, use the break to get yourself caught up, because the common essay is about the book, and you are going to have a very difficult time writing this essay if you did not read the book. And I know sometimes students will think like, hey, I can just BS, I can just talk sort of about the book. Now, you can't do that, because everyone who's going to be evaluating your essay has read this book multiple times, and they're going to know, if you're just kind of like talking around certain issues as opposed to answering the question. So if you have fallen behind in the reading, make sure you use the break to get yourself caught up. All right. Please. That's one thing that at the end of the semester, there's certain assistance I can give you, but that's something I can't help you with. So if you have fallen behind, make sure you get yourself caught up. Okay. And then one more housekeeping thing before I start talking about the midterm. Okay. If you go, I just added another module for this, and I just realized I didn't need to. But if you go into the course overview module on D2L, all right, if you aren't on D2L, you can just follow along with me now. Make sure I'm sharing the right thing. Okay. And you go down, you got welcome, my profile, blah, 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 blah. Go down to portfolio checklist. And if you remember, like way back in the day, early in the semester, I told you we would break this out every now and again just to kind of see where we are. All right. You can do this mentally. All right. Like I said, if you don't have this open right now, I already have one open because I was just looking at it. Okay. Now, again, this is all going to be a virtual portfolio, so you can ignore like left hand, right hand pocket. All right, but now we can check off some of this stuff, okay, in your mind. And again, my good people, and now when we come back from break, you'll probably hear me saying this or something related to this nearly every class period. But this is like your golden ticket out of this class, your checklist. And if you at the end of the semester cannot check off all of these items, there is no way you can pass the class. All right, meaning I'm not if your portfolio is missing any items, I'm not even allowed to have it submitted for review. So again, right now, this is what we can check off. Okay. All drafts of instructor chosen essay, because right now everybody should have at least 2 rough drafts of their instructor chosen essay completed and returned to you. Okay, so you can check that off. Okay, these are items we'll work on when we come back. Reflective letter is something we do like almost towards the very end of the semester, but when we come back, this will be our focus. Okay, the common essay. In fact, I'm thinking I may even post it on Wednesday. Not necessarily asking you all to start it, but really just giving you an idea of, what the expectations are for this essay. So I will get this posted Wednesday, and then we'll talk about it in more detail. But just understand, when I post it, it's not officially assigned yet. No draft has been assigned. Again, I just want you all to start thinking about it. Okay, and then maybe as you're reading over the break, you can start pulling out ideas, for your common essay. All right, and again, bam. After this week, we'll be able to check this one off. All right, midterm I'm going to talk about in a second here. All right, so after this week, we'll all be able to check this one off. You can check this one off now if you want. This is just a set of reading questions, instructor chosen reading strategy. Or when we come back from break, we're also there will be a new type of assignment added. It'll still fall under the reading questions category as far as grading, but we'll start reading short articles based on issues related to our book and answering questions about the article. And really, it's just to get you prepped for our final essay, which is going to be you reading an article and then talking about it in comparison to Born a Crime. So we'll start that when we come back from break as well, because we're almost done with the book, or we should almost be. Okay, so yeah, you can check this off, and this is just you can choose, or better yet, since we're doing virtual portfolios, I'll choose. And again, this is just any assignment that's not an essay. All right, so it could be a set of reading questions, or when we start reading our articles next when we come back from break. And then after Wednesday, we should be able to check this one off. Final copy. And again, 4 full pages is emphasized. And we, English 1060 instructors, we all use this. Okay, every English 1060 instructor, doesn't matter the campus, doesn't matter the teacher, we all use the same checklist. Okay, I had this scratched out because a couple semesters ago we ran out of time, and we were reading a different book, and students were really having a rough time with the common essay, so I just scratched this out. But it's back. Okay, and then this is all stuff we'll address after the break. Okay, common essay, like I've been talking about, and then this is your final. I'm hesitant to call it a final exam, but essentially that's what it is. Okay, so we'll talk about this when we come back. So right now, again, this is what we can check off. After this week, midterm, instructor chosen reading strategy, final draft of final draft of instructor chosen essay, and then rough drafts of instructor chosen essay. Okay. And if you want your own, right, that's in the course overview module. And it is right here, but again, I'm about to get rid of this because I realized I put it in here. Okay. So that's where we stand right now, my good people. All right.
I had a question. So all the right hand stuff are things that we should already be checking off.
So far right now, Trevon, only the instructor chosen essay rough drafts. So this is going to be our only check mark down here on the right.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of this stuff is just works in progress. Oh, okay. That worked, sort of. All right. Yeah, when we come back, we're gonna definitely when we come back, we're going full blast with our common essay. All right. And again, just a word about the common essay.
I have a
Um,
question too, please.
oh yeah, go ahead, Zan.
So who's going to put together our portfolio? You are, or do
Yeah, I
we?
will. I will
Okay,
assemble everything for you all.
okay.
That's no problem. Yep. And then it'll be easy since it's
You
just a
have all
matter
of
of just getting stuff out of your folders, your online folders. So no, that's fine. All right. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say about the common essay. Here's how we look at your portfolios at the end of the semester. First, we look at this. All right, we bring the impromptu essay out. Look at that. If that essay is a-okay, meaning we just look at it if it's organized or showing signs of organization, and it does, it meets other benchmarks that I will share with you all when the time comes. Really, we just look at the rest of the folder to see if everything is in there, and then we pass them, and then the students get whatever grade they earn from their teacher. All right, so that's if the final assessment, if everything checks out with that. But say this doesn't check out. Okay, say we look at it and say, we have it has issues. We'll say, okay, because at the end of the day, we look at these or we look at this essay as a rough draft. If we were doing it in class, you do it like in class in one class period, and you don't know what you're writing about until it's in front of you. That's how we have it set up. So we look at these as rough drafts. All right. And that's why I say we want to see signs of organization. Now, let's say this does not check out though. It's like, this student really struggled. Then we say, okay, that's cool. All right. Let me look at what this student can do when they had time to do a multiple draft essay. That's where this comes into play, your common essay. Okay. If this checks out, we're back. Okay. A-okay. Again, you get the grade that you earned in the class. The only thing is, if I'm evaluating a portfolio and the student fails the impromptu, but their common essay is okay, I'll just, they'll still pass, but I'll just write on their evaluation sheet, like, make sure you work with the tutor in 1510 or whatever. All right, but you still pass. So what I'm saying is your common essay can kind of be your life jacket for the class. All right. So again, that's why I'm saying like it's important that we're caught up with the reading, and it's equally important that we put our best effort into this into our common essay. Okay. Again, that's really one of the functions of our reading questions, just to get us in the habit of writing about our text. Okay. So yeah, this is our ticket out of here, folks. So you have your own. So make sure you're keeping your own tally of what's missing. Also, if you're missing any of these items or any of these, okay, it's not too late. And this class is really never too late. Well, I won't say never, but there's still time. If you fell behind a little bit, use the break. Okay, use the break to get yourself caught up. Okay. So now, instructor chosen essay final draft due Wednesday. Okay. Midterm, that's our next item of business. Okay, now let me do I need to be in student view? No, I don't, not for this. Okay, our midterm. First off, where is it? It's in the week 7 module. Okay, there's a lot in this module, but you can also just go to assignments and you'll see it. I don't know what this looks like for you guys, so I guess I should switch this to you. Okay, now let me go back into week 7. First thing about your midterm, it really will make life easier for everyone if you do this in Microsoft Word. It just makes this process so much easier. All right. So first things, all right, here's just some more stuff. Really, this is more or less designed to give you that final push when you put your when you upload your the final draft of your instructor chosen essay. So just, look at some of this stuff, okay, and see if you recognize any errors that you're doing in your own paper. Use Grammarly, right? Use Editor in Microsoft Word. But again, just make sure you've proofread your final draft as thoroughly as possible. Okay. Now, here's your midterm right here. Midterm common annotation. It's called the common annotation because every 1060 class, at least Royal Oak Southfield, I think Orchard Ridge is using the same book, but any class that's using Born a Crime has the same midterm. Okay, so you just click it. All right, and here's the article. Okay, you can click it and then open it, and here it is. Okay, you don't have to put your name on it anywhere because once you put it in your assignment folder, I'll know whose it is. All right, and this is it looks long, but it really is short because there's a lot of pictures. Like if you take out all these pictures, it'll probably be half the length that it is now. Okay. Yeah, 13 pages, but really about 6 pages of text.
So we're annotating this and then turning it in. Is that what that is?
There it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, really, and you're right, Aria. Really, your job is to take notes on this thing and turn it in. All right. So now, how do we take notes on in Microsoft Word? You have a few options. Okay. First option is this. I'm about to bring up an old one. This is based on a different book, so when you see Puerto Rico, don't be alarmed. Okay, your article is about South Africa. Okay, this is from an old student. Okay, I was trying to make it anonymous. So is this stuff we learn how to do? Well, annotation. Now, hopefully you've been annotating your books. All right, because that's one of our active reading practices that we talked about like very early in the semester. All right, but no fear, because we are about to talk about, and just to do a quick review of annotation. All right, but here's one from a student. Oh yeah, okay. I think, John, as long as your notes have been helping you, you're doing it right. And I'm glad you mentioned that because no, it's fine. It's fine. All right. Annotation is really just for you. Like in the beginning of the semester when I was showing you all my little chicken scratch notes in my book, I wouldn't expect many people to understand because it's, those notes are written for me and I'm the only person that's going to see them. So I may make some connection in my mind, or if I have a word there, like I know what this word means, like in context. All right. Or it's the same thing for me in my notes. If I put an exclamation point next to something, for me, that means read this again. All right. If I have a $sign next to something, that means, this is all about the money. All right. As, a lot of things are. All right. So no, your notes are, your notes are for you. And really, John and others, when it comes to annotation, especially on this midterm, when we talk about evaluation, the only way that it'll go bad for you is if you only underline or if you only highlight, meaning if you don't take any notes, if you just go through and underline this thing, or if you go through and highlight this whole thing. All right. Annotation is definitely about quality over quantity. This student that I'm going to show you took a lot of notes, okay? But I can show you others, you know, where the notes aren't as extensive as this. And really you're just taking notes next to points, you know, that speak to you for whatever reason. Or maybe there's something you want to remember. Maybe there's a question you have. Okay, maybe there's a word you need to define. All right. Maybe there's a thought, and this is what's important about annotation. Maybe there's a thought you had about something, because really that's what annotation is. You're just recording your thoughts, right? And the difference between annotation and just standard note taking is annotation is done like on the document. Like if you're reading an article, you're taking notes on the article itself. It's the same with your book. Like if you're reading a book, you're taking notes in the book itself. Okay, so now don't get alarmed about this stuff. This is stuff that we've been doing. And like I was saying, if you are concerned, just make sure you go beyond underlining and highlighting for this, for your midterm. And then just remember, it's always quality over quantity. Don't just take notes for the sake of taking notes. Make sure your notes have some meaning to you. All right. So if we look at this student, okay. All right. This is a fake name, maybe. Okay. All right. So this student, again, like I said, this student was extremely thorough, which is cool. Like this student annotated the date, right? Attention grabber. And then I'm just gonna skip down a little bit. All right. Yeah. Okay. And this student is just recording their thoughts, right? Not sure it's true, but I like the description. It's sad. Now, one thing that you can do, which is a great practice, okay, try to make connections. This our last book was We Fed an Island, and it was about just a chef helping out with disaster relief in Puerto Rico after a hurricane. So this article is about a hurricane. Just like your articles and most of the things we read will have some connection to apartheid. I can't share too much about our common annual or our midterm, excuse me, our final assessment, but just know apartheid is going to be the focus. And as we get closer to it, I will share as much as I can and still like keep my job or not cross any like ethical boundaries. Okay.
And
But again,
Hmm.
this student made a connection to the book. Okay. So that's one thing, one specific thing we all could be looking at when we look at our article. Think about connections to our text. Okay. And this student, I remember from the book, We Fed an Island, this town was hit pretty hard and had more damage than other towns. Right. So if you see something in the article that has a connection to our book, certainly make a note about that. Okay, you can use your book for this. I don't care. So if you even want to say, you know, this is just like this specific thing that happened in the book, of course, you know, do that. Okay. All right. And again, the student, okay, just taking notes on the side. Okay.
How do you get the annotation feature on
That's where we're
Word?
going next, because I'm going to
Okay.
show you a few ways to annotate. Okay, here's a huge picture. Your article has way more pictures than this one. All right. Okay. And again, asking questions. Okay. Or, you know, one thing, there's a couple good things about this annotation, but one thing that was really successful about it is, you know, this student, you know, took issues with a lot of the material in the article, and you can do that. Okay. So now, how do you get the notes up here? All right. That's a good question. Okay. This is your article, right? This is one you are going to be using. Okay. And there's a few ways to get notes on this thing. I'm going to show you the easiest way first. All right, or the easiest way for me, and this is also the neatest way. Okay. First thing you do, let me start easy. Let me start easier first. Okay, first thing, if you want to highlight, you can just drag your mouse over whatever you want to highlight, or drag your trackpad or whatever you use. Okay, I tell you, man, if you can get a wireless mouse, and they're like $10, $15, a wireless mouse or just a mouse in general, that make your life a lot easier if you're using a laptop. Okay, but if you want to highlight something, you just drag your cursor over it and then choose your color. Okay, you can go different colors for different reasons. That's up to you. All right, now, if you want to take a note, okay, you can highlight whatever you have a note about. Okay, you see how this is grayed out. Now, I have this in my shortcuts up here, but you can just go to review, new comment. All right, and then to get out of there, you just click anywhere. Okay, and again, the comment function is in review. Okay, so again, to take a note, you just you just drag over whatever you want to take notes about or whatever you want to take notes on. Review, and then comment. Okay. Now, all right. Again, I just made because I read papers pretty much all day. Okay. What a great life. No, I'm very, very grateful. All right. But since I read papers like all day, I just made these into my shortcuts up here. And let's see, customize. Oh, now you can go, I've already added mine to the quick access toolbar, which is this. So I don't have to go back into review every time I want to comment on something. But you can just click on add to quick access toolbar, and it'll put it up here for you. Okay. So again, make a comment.
Hold on for 1 second, Professor
Uh-huh.
Norwood.
Yeah.
You said to continue to add comments to your article, you just need to go what? We need to do what now?
Oh, just go to
The last statement.
You mean to add comments to your shortcuts so you don't have to go into review all the time?
Oh, add comments
Yep.
to your
So
shortcut.
the long way to get to it is go like review and then new comment,
Right.
and then you could just. But I was saying, like, so you don't have to do that process every time.
Okay.
You can just go to, once you're in review, you can just go in a new comment, and then you're going to use right click, and right click will bring up this menu,
Oh,
and then
okay.
you can go add to quick access toolbar. That way it'll just put it up here, like where my mouse is, because this is all stuff I use a lot, when I'm reading papers. So like the functions I use, or really the function you use a lot, you can just add them to this quick access toolbar. Like you don't have to, but it does make life easier. It's just less clicks. Or like I said, you can just do it the old school way or the long way. Just go to review, new comment. Okay. Now, I think you can even comment on the pictures. Oh yeah. Okay, now you can make comparisons, right? Okay, so this is just an annotation on the picture, so you can even take a note on the picture if you want to. You just double click the picture or click the picture and then same thing, new comment. Okay, now, all right, also, something I neglected to mention, if you go back in the week 7 module, you don't have to do this now, but this short video, it's about 1.5 minutes, and it's again just me kind of showing you how to comment. So it's just a quick tutorial about how to use the comment function in Word. Okay. So again, when you take your notes, my good people, this is the neatest method of doing it. When I say neat, I mean I'll show you some other ways that I don't know, can get kind of messy. Okay, let me open this other assignment folder real quick. All right, I gotta get out of student mode. I'll show you another method, because if you don't want to do it like this and you say to yourself, man, how can I make this assignment even more work? Okay, you can print this thing out. Okay, you can print it out and take your notes manually. All right, and you're gonna have to okay, it's a different class. If you do that, you're gonna need access to either a scanner, or you can individually take a snapshot of each page. All right. And like I said, if you want to do that, you can, but it's a lot more work. One, you're going to have to take the pictures individually, and then you're probably going to have to upload each page separately. All right. Which, it just seems like a lot of work, or a lot more work, I should say. Oh, okay. I was looking at something else. I was trying to show you, because a student actually did that. Okay, here we go, summer. It's a different class. Okay, so here's one. I'll just show you one of the pages. Ugh. See how this student, they uploaded every page separately, and when you open it, oh god. Okay, oops. I forgot how I even opened this when the student sent it to me. All right, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So this student, they printed the article, they took their notes by hand, they took a picture of each page, and then they uploaded it. Okay, you can do that. All right, you can do that if you wish, but like I said, it's just to me that seems like a lot more work than just uploading, or excuse me, just doing your comments like this. All right, so that's another way. And then a final way you can do this, if you have Google Docs, this will upload as a PDF. Okay, I'm just going to open a PDF. Let's see. What is this? Or better yet, I'll just open this generically. Okay. Now, if you're using a PDF, like I said, Google Docs will sometimes upload, or you can download Word docs as PDFs using Google Docs, if that makes any sense. Okay. You can just You can still use comment. You can just click this little caption bubble and then put it where you want it. And then just type your comment. And then go post. But to be honest, like, and this is just me, maybe I'm a little biased because I use Word for everything, but for me, Word and taking notes within Word seems like your best option. And for me, it seems like one where there's, because really reading and taking the notes is the important part. Okay, so I don't want you guys spending a lot of time thinking about the technical aspects of this. Okay. This thing isn't long at all. All right. Again, good people, I'm not gonna tell you what to write in your notes, but I think there are points that all of these should have in common. One, if you see a connection to Born a Crime, definitely make a note about that. Okay. And then beyond that, if you have questions, right? If you agree with points, if you disagree with points, if you see a connection between, think about your connections, like text to world, text to text, text to self. You can certainly make those kinds of connections. If you see a connection with, some aspects of apartheid or, whatever's being discussed in the article, if you see a connection with, something that's happening in the US, you can certainly put that. Words you don't know, words you want to look up, ideas you understand, ideas you don't understand. Okay. And then here's some additional material about annotation. All right. Now, this again is in the week 7 module. All right. I'm still sharing with you guys, right? You can still see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say we still alive out there. All right. Active reading, definitely. And if we look, monitoring what you are thinking as you are reading. Okay. And again, that's what annotation is. It's recording your thoughts. Really, when you think of annotation in its basic terms, it's really just a conversation with the text. That's all it is. Like you're reading something, that's one part of the conversation. And then, just like in a normal conversation, somebody says something, you respond to it. All right. So yeah, it's just writing in the margins. All right, let me get to the, okay. Bam. Okay. And John and others, okay, if you have questions about your method of annotation, okay, again, something that's not up here, but I would say again, think about those connections we talked about earlier in the semester. Text to text, like a connection to Born a Crime is a great text to text connection. All right. Text to self, maybe you have an experience that differs. And I think, if you've experienced some form of discrimination, experienced or witnessed, some form of discrimination, based on race, based on class or your economic standing, based on your religious background, based on your sexual identity, whatever. I think that's a good point of entry, right? That's a good point of entry. So, maybe that's your text to self connection. All right. And then, like I was saying, a text to world connection could be, you just relating the ideas in the article to some larger national or international issue. Okay. And not to get too far ahead of myself, but your impromptu essay or your final assessment at the end of the semester is pretty much like a giant text to text or text to world connection. It's just going to be 3 pages worth. All right. So again, here's some more, like if you find yourself needing a blueprint, restate the author's idea in your own words. Okay. That's a great strategy. All right. In my composition 1 and my composition 2 classes, the first few essays I assign are summary responses. And really it's just the practice of putting an author's ideas into your own words. Okay, that's an important skill. Okay. And then, putting, sometimes, well, you'll hear it in classes, or if you haven't heard it already. A sign of understanding something is being able to explain it. Being able to explain in your own words. That's a good sign, or better yet, it's often said, like, when you understand something, you can teach it to someone else. Okay. So, restating an author's ideas in your own words, it's great practice.
We couldn't hear you.
You can't hear me?
We couldn't.
What happened?
I don't know.
Am I back?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right.
You're back now.
Okay. How long did I go out? Let me see how far I
Probably
did.
for about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
The last,
Not much then. What I was saying is just, restating. I probably said something I shouldn't have and got censored. No. All right. All right. But no, I was saying, like, capturing an author's ideas in your own words, it's just a sign of understanding, because one of the signposts of understanding something is being able to teach it to someone else or being able to explain it to someone else. Right? It's like, okay, what did the author mean when they say blah 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 blah? All right. So yeah. Now, okay. This other point, I'm skipping down to the third because the first two kind of repeat themselves. Okay. Reacting with a personal comment. What did you think about this thing that you read? Okay. That's what you're asking yourself. What do I think about this? How can I make sense of it? Or sometimes you're just reading something and it strikes you. Like if you're reading about, apartheid, or you're reading about, some like abuse, that happens in our text. All right. Some of those things, you have stuff to say about it. Okay. And one thing about annotation, some of your comments, are going to be a couple sentences. Some of your comments may only be a symbol. Some of your comments may just be a phrase, like not even a complete sentence. That's up to you. So there's going to be some variation, in the comments that you have. So again, don't think that there's some uniform strategy, that you have to be using to annotate. Okay. Again, like annotation is just to enhance your understanding. Okay. And really, when we evaluate these, we may read some of your notes, but for the most part, we're just looking to see if you are engaging the material. And that's why I said, like, go beyond underlining or go beyond highlighting, because those two strategies are passive reading strategies. And we want to practice active reading strategies for this assignment, and really for this assignment and beyond. All right. So even if you do highlight, that's cool, but go beyond highlighting. And if you use, more than one color when you highlight, make sure there's some kind of system. All right. Maybe use a green highlight for words you need to look at, a pink highlight for, stuff that you want to know more about, or whatever, you can make that decision. Okay. So yeah, restate in your own words. That's a tried and true method. Okay. Make those connections. Text to text, text to self, text to world. All right. What are your personal thoughts? Right. Sometimes a thought is just like, man, this is unfair. Okay. Oh, this is terrible how women are treated. Okay. Sometimes that's the comment. Okay. Or, sometimes the comment is like just what I had next to the picture. Oh, this is similar to a Black Lives Matter rally. Okay. Whatever comes to your mind. you know, because again, annotation, it is the recording of your thoughts. Okay. And that's engagement, having thoughts, about what you're reading. And we say it's an active reading strategy, because the opposite would be you're just kind of reading something and it's going in one ear and out the other. Or and this happens to me also when I'm just kind of reading and I'm drifting off and whatever. All right. That's the practice you want to avoid here. Okay, you don't want to drift off. We want to be fully engaged, as we're reading this. Okay.
Professor Norwood,
Yes.
we can't hear you. I'm reading your lips. That's why I saw you say yes.
Okay. Am I back now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what's up with that. Got a loose wire or something? Oh, I just got this computer. Okay. JP. Okay, very good. All right. Cool. I'm back.
So really, can I sum this up? The bottom line is there are no wrong answers, long as we do more than highlight and underline.
Got it. You got it. And of course, you do want to take like more than like 1 to 2 notes. And like Norwood said, it was about quality over quantity. All right. So you just want to take notes on things that you have something to say about it, but don't feel obligated to say something about everything. But you got it, Izetta. All right, you got it. Okay. Now, here's the things that you don't want to do. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Sometimes people go crazy with that highlighter. Okay. Sometimes people go crazy with that highlighter. Don't turn your article into a coloring book. Okay. And then when you think about it, here's one of the issues that comes along with only highlighting. All right. Sometimes if you highlight something, you put it to the side for a little bit, and then you come back to it. Maybe the thinking is like, why did I highlight this? Like, what's the significance of this? And that's why I say, like, if you do highlight something, put a little note next to it. Why is this important? Okay. Why is this important? So again, that's why I say highlighting can sometimes be passive, because sometimes people will just get into the habit of just going through highlighting everything. And then like if you highlight everything, like how do you determine like what's important versus what's not important? And the thing about annotation, yeah, we're doing it as, it's part of this class, right? And it's gonna be, something we're evaluated on. But the bigger picture with all of this is getting you to develop the skill. So, when you're in that biology class, or when you're in that econ class, or when you're in that psychology class, or whatever field you're going into, these are strategies you can apply in those classes. When you have some really dense textbook and the teacher's like, okay, read chapters 1 through 20, by next week, right? And so annotation, it's good for helping you remember. Okay, remember the text itself, but also remember your thoughts about it, because you might have a question about a text you're reading, but you may not have that class until Thursday. And by the time Thursday rolls around, you may have forgotten your question. So, write it down. Write it down. So don't look at this as, something that we're just making you do in English 1060. Annotation is a foundational skill. Like I showed you my book, at the beginning of the semester. So annotation is still like I still use, like I have to use it. It's the only way I can remember stuff. Okay. So don't only highlight is what I'm saying in a long-winded way. Don't just mark nothing and say, hey, Norwood, oh, students with the it's all up here, like they point to their head, it's all up here. All right. I used to say that too. Okay, maybe it is all up there, but it's usually not. Okay. Sometimes we overestimate. Okay. And then if you find yourself, doing this or basically doing nothing, you're having a difficult time, right? Distinguishing what's important. I would say, if you're struggling to figure out what to annotate, again, just go back to basics. Text to text, text to self, text to world. Okay. Those are good tools to have in your toolbox. Text to self, like how does this relate to me and my experiences? Text to text, how does it relate to other things I've read in the past? Okay, and we're reading a text right now that's directly related to the article. And then text to world. How does this text connect to like global issues or issues in my community? Okay, so again, if you're really struggling, you can always go in your toolbox and get those. Those are reliable tools. Nothing wrong with those. Okay. Think they want me to move forward? Okay. Are we done? Are we finished? Or are we done? I was going to say, did my computer freeze? All right. Okay. Next slide is just about rereading. Okay. Sometimes you do have to reread materials. All right. And our book, Born to Crime, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Other than like some of the, John and others, this is also in the week seven module. And I want to say they're just called annotation. Second. Yep. So the slides, John and others, they're just in the week 7 module, and they're just called annotation. It really annotation 1, but D2L just added that one because I have these slides uploaded here somewhere else. Cool. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. This is the last. There's a couple more slides, but this is really the last one. Okay. Use this technique with all college reading. All right. Again, it's what I was just saying about, annotation being a foundational skill. So, John, I like the question that you asked in the beginning of the class, like, how do I know when I'm doing it right? You know when you're doing it right when you get the best results, meaning when you annotate a chapter and you can go back and look at your annotations and get a sense of, one, what the chapter's about, and two, what you were thinking, as you read this thing. Because let's say, it's a few semesters from now and, you're in that bio class or whatever class it is. Okay. And there's going to be a quiz, right? You can gauge your annotations based on like how much you retain for that quiz. Okay. Or for even if there's no quiz, like say there's a group discussion, judge your annotations by how much you retain. Okay. So, and that's why this class, is such a great space for you all to, try different things. Try different things. Very early in the semester, I can't remember in this class if we watched it or I just posted it, but I have a short video from a student, and it's really just about her finding her way in annotation, meaning she had to try a few different methods to find what worked for her. And then once you find something that works, you just continue to hone it. You continue to add, you add on to it. Okay. And that's how, like, it took me years. It took me years to develop a system that was like consistent and useful for me. All right. And when I say it took years, it just was like I had a method, and then it's just like fine tuning what worked for me. All right. So that's the process you all are going to have to go to. But I think the key ingredient to that process is practice. Okay. So you're going to have to keep practicing in order to find what works for you. So by the time you get to that chemistry class, or that psychology class or the sociology class, whatever. All right, even in composition 1 and composition 2. Okay, by the time, go ahead, Azana. Yeah, so by the time you hit those classes, you'll have a method of annotation that already works for you. Okay, so really, use this space to practice is what I'm saying. Try to figure out what works for you. Like I showed you one student's old midterm, I can show you 5 more that all look different. And all of them were correct. Okay. So don't, you know, like I showed you all the example, but don't think yours has to look like the example. All right. Computer. Blah, blah, blah. This is just old stuff. Don't there used to be an old assignment attached to this thing, but don't worry about it. Okay. Now, kind people of English 1060. Okay. I'll show you a few more oops. I'll show you a few more things from that module. But definitely, oh, excuse me, check out that week 7 module. All right. So again, this is more stuff about really just some final proofreading things for the final draft of your instructor chosen essay. All right. And if you look at this, these are just some images. All right. You don't have to download this or anything. And all right. Okay. Here's somebody that just uses their own, like, here's notes here. Okay, brackets. I'm sure there's a key, like the brackets mean different things. Okay, students asking questions. And if you notice, again, annotation on the document. That's the difference, again, between like annotation and then just taking notes like in a notebook or something. Annotation is always on the document. Okay, sometimes students will use like sticky notes because they don't want to write in their books, but you know, it's beneficial for you to write in your books. Okay, here's another one. Here's some highlighting with notes. Again, all right. More underlining, but there's notes too. Highlighting, but there's notes too. Okay, the same thing. All right, so there's just a visual example. Okay, and then here's the slides we just looked at. And then here's, again, a video. This, again, is just showing you how to use the comments in Microsoft Word. Okay, and then here's the article itself. All right, let's click it. And then now it's already in Microsoft Word, but if you don't have Word on your computer, it'll probably download as a PDF. All right, but again, try to get Word. Okay, it's free, right? You don't have to do anything but like click stuff. Okay, so just click this and bam, it just downloads it right to your computer. Once you open it, you know, get busy. All right, and when you're done, oh, still doing things the long way as a teacher. All right, when you're done, bam, just put it back in the assignment folder. Midterm done. Okay, and then, you know, if you finish your common essay, not your common essay, your instructor chosen essay, start your break. We have a timer. Nope. Just keep I would say, John, and others, you have until Sunday to get it done, but don't, I would say try to knock it out in like 1 to 2 sittings, because you don't want to stretch this thing out, because you want there to be some continuity, meaning like you don't want to get started today and then pick it back up Thursday and you're kind of like maybe what you did Monday is kind of foggy for you. So if you are going to break it up, one, schedule it, meaning like, okay, Wednesday I'm going to do the first few pages of this thing, save it to my own computer, and then I'm going to come back Thursday and finish it. All right, but if you are going to break it up into multiple sessions, just try to do it consistently, and then don't take too long between sessions. Okay, so now,
Are you talking about the midterm, or are you talking about the final draft, the final paper? Essay?
No, the midterm. Oh, final draft, get that in Wednesday.
Oh, okay. And the essay is due for Sunday?
No, the midterm is Sunday, the essay is Wednesday.
Okay.
The final draft of your essay is Wednesday.
And the midterm is due this Sunday?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
Mhm. So yeah, get it done, people. And then I know there's been a lot of and thens, but okay. Okay.
I thought that was muted, sorry.
Here's the thing though. Here's the bright side of all this. When I always encourage students to take English 1510 right after you take this class. Even if you don't do a summer term, make sure you do a fall term. And I say that because you're still in that reading writing mindset. And then if you take it right after this class, English 1510 is a lot less work than this class, believe it or not. One, there's fewer credit hours, so this is 6. English 1510 is 3. I use the same book, like I use the Norton Little Seagull handbook, and there's no that's the only book for that class. And then there's not an assignment every day like there is in this class. All right. All right. So yeah, I feel your pain, Isaiah. Trust me, man. Trust me. Okay. But I think this class is it's good for getting you used to some of the tedious aspects of college. All right. And some classes you're gonna have where it's assignments every day. Some classes you're gonna have where it's the assignments are sparse. Some classes you're gonna have 80 slideshow quiz on Friday, not explaining anything. So, brace yourselves because every teacher's different, man. Every teacher's different. Okay, but I think what I'm saying is developing certain skills will take you a long way, and annotation is one of those skills. All right. Really, like note taking, time management, and self-motivation. You knock those 3 out as a student, that's like 90% of the battle right there. There's a saying about college, like showing up is half the job. That is so true. That is so true. Okay. But I said it in others. If you notice the due date for these questions, not until March 7th. Okay. So here's what's due in our immediate future. All right. And I'm gonna when I post the recording of this class, I'll make sure I recap all of this. What's due in our immediate future though is the final draft of your instructor chosen essay. That is due Wednesday. Okay, make sure you get it in. Okay. And if you need some additional time, you can take it. But if I were you, I would not want to let this thing drag out into the break. All right. Because as a student, I would try to soak up as much break as I can. All right. So that's due Wednesday, the final draft of this, and then the instructor chosen essay is wrapped up. Okay, we don't ever have to think about this thing again. All right. And then Sunday, the midterm is due. Again, don't let this thing drag out, into the break. Okay, because really the only thing, really just read over the break. Okay, and I will post the prompt for the common essay, but nothing will be assigned with that officially. I just want you all to start thinking about it. Okay, and then we'll start talking about it officially when we come back from break. All right. Any questions about me? I mean, not about me, but for me, or about me. No, but for me. Okay. Right now, I'm leaning towards us not having another session on Wednesday. If we don't have a session, I'll make sure I put a note on D2L, just kind of giving us an update. But I'm not seeing us, having a need to meet on that day on Wednesday. Okay.
We agree with you.
And here I am all this time thinking that you enjoyed these sessions. Oh, I will send you all this in writing as well. But Thursday, if you have a spare moment, you know, between 12 and 1:30, there's an extra credit opportunity. Black Student Union and Auburn Hills Diversity and a couple of organizations, we're collaborating on an event, and it's just about like generations of family. There's a one from the baby boomer generation, you know, a panelist, and I will be representing Generation X, and then there's a millennial slash Generation Y. I lose track of this stuff. I don't know. All right, so I will post a flyer and the link to join, but you know, if you can make it, you know, I'll give you some extra credit for it. And that's this Thursday at noon. All right. So that's all I got for today, good people. Okay, I'm gonna get this uploaded, get this session uploaded at some point today. If you have technical difficulties with the midterm, let me know about that as soon as humanly possible. Okay, don't wait till like Sunday night, because there's our the options are going to be limited at that time. Let me double check this, but I want to say you can go to campus and use a lab, but don't quote me on that just yet. Also, if you live in or close to Southfield, I know the Southfield Public Library's computer lab has reopened. If you need some internet or computer. All right. You do have to, I think you have to make an appointment though, to or just sign up for a time slot, you know, if you're using the public library. But let me double check to see if our library is open. And I'll make a note of that on D2L as well. Okay. But that is all I have. If we don't have a session on Wednesday, have a great break, folks. I know there's been a lot of work. We've been working hard, and I do want you to stay in the school mindset over break, but you know, take a break, take a moment to take care of yourself. Yeah, we all need that, no matter what we're doing. Take a moment to just breathe. Okay, take care of yourself. Do something you like doing. Okay. That's all I got, good people. Okay, have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, folks.
You too. Bye-bye.
Break the chat. Okay, John, have a good one, man. All right.